Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a magical Monday here in the studio as I record. And how you doing out there? I'm doing good. I'm doing just fine, floating along on this Monday, and yeah, just have a few things that have popped up in my awareness in the recent, maybe last week or so, that I think feel relevant and pertinent and powerful to share, pertaining to staying small and the idea of staying small and kindness. Also, how to really sort of weigh what is our ego and what isn't, the power of gratitude. So yeah, we have some good stuff that we're going to dig into today. And yeah, why don't I just go ahead and dive right in? Oh, I know what I wanted to do. Before I do, I would like to read a review on Amazon for The Golden Key, my book. People have been taking the time to review over there, and that means the world to me because it helps us to reach new people. So I'm going to read a quick review. Lee Emmett wrote, "Thank you. Brandon is brilliant, yet brings so many nuggets of wisdom to a level that everyone can understand and appreciate. Thank you, Brandon, for the wonderful work you do with the podcast, and now compiling so many good thoughts in one place. This is a must read." Oh, thank you, Lee, for the short, sweet, and exciting review. It always excites me to see anyone who's enjoyed and appreciated the work. Of course, the book is relatively short, 3 hours to listen to, 100 pages to read, but man, it took a lot to really get it where I wanted it. So you guys, as you know, you can go to goldenkey.gift, use the code POSITIVEHEAD to get the audio and or ebook free with that code. So, all right, let's dive in to today's topic. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about, the things that I just touched on. You know, this idea of, especially, those of us in this community, those of us who would listen to someone who would listen to this podcast, right? You're probably on the kinder end of the spectrum, typically. And it's really important to understand the difference between being kind and staying small. And this was brought to my attention via a friend, and really over the last few months, who's just such a powerful soul. And she pointed out to me that maybe her kindness, it was like a realization that she was having, that her kindness was actually a method to sort of a way for her ego to help keep her small. And, being overly concerned with others is at your expense is playing small. If you are overly concerned, if you're someone who's so concerned about making sure others around you are happy at your own expense, you are doing no service to anyone, them, you, in that process, and her big aha with that was like, I have so much potential and ability in myself. And as she was opening up more and more spiritually and realizing like if she put down sort of or cut ties with the people or reframe those relationships with people who are really holding her back, who are a lot of like sort of clingy energy and I need from you. You owe me. Here's why. Here's why you need to make sure I'm okay and do what I think you should do. And it was just like a repeating cycle in her life. And her being, so empathic, just being like, oh, I got to take care of them and make sure they're happy and they're okay, at the expense of her playing small. And she realized like, oh my gosh, if I truly honor myself, I'm not only going to stop being held back by others, but I'm going to, really step into another level of experience and growth and power and reach with her own, work in the world. And that actually, by being overly concerned with others, is playing small. And it's actually, you think about someone being selfish. If you were to say, no, I'm not going to, do all these things that you think I should do. And instead I'm going to honor my own truth and my own guidance and be the good kind of selfish, right? Look after my own needs first and foremost. We would almost typically, think of that as like, oh, you're being egotistical or whatever. But she flipped it like this. Well, actually, what if it's actually the ego trying to keep me small so that as I have, get bigger and bigger and more tapped into my spirit and soul and higher self, the ego is afraid of being lost in that process. And therefore, it's actually the opposite, that by not honoring her own wishes and her own desires at the expense, catering to other people who are really oftentimes, sort of playing on another level in their own evolution and with their own, dysfunction and issues in evolution of the things that they're working for through really keeping her back and dragging her into the mud, so to speak. And that's actually the thing, the ego at work, saying, oh, you need to do this. You need to take care of these other people. You need to answer the call of whatever they think you should be doing. And because that keeps her small. And instead of like putting all that aside and really flourishing into full connection with spirit and stepping into her greatest and greatest self. And wow, what a realization, right? It's like, you think you're being kind, but it's your ego keeping you small. And I know I wanted to talk about this today because I know there's some of you out there who are going through this and have this issue with being, catering to other people's needs, wants, and desires over your own. And a lot of times you can look at those people and see like, they're really, they're not in maybe the healthiest place in their own journey. And you're really getting sucked into their, this lower vibration by being so overly empathic and thinking you're doing the kind thing. And, we're not doing the kind thing ever if we are playing small. You can't truly make any real impact in the world. Certainly not the highest and the greatest and grandest version of yourself, reaching the most people and having the greatest ripple of impact on this planet by playing small and letting your energy be caught up in someone else who's really it has no business being caught up in. And so I would encourage each and every one of you to really analyze this if you have these sorts of dysfunctional relationships in your life. And because you love yourself so much, first and foremost, and you love them so much, you say, no more. I'm not going to play small. I'm not going to be dragged into what you think I should do. And a lot of times this turns into, when you start, cutting the energetic ties, and make no mistake, that's what it is. I mean, there's literally like, and not to say that any of these people doing that are necessarily doing it consciously and they have, malintent and it's coming from a really evil place or anything like that. But a lot of times people don't know when they get into these dysfunctional, reliance on someone else. And if needing them to show up in a certain way in order to feel happy or, if not, what happens a lot of times when you cut off that energy supply that they're feeding on, there's going to be some flailing, right? And a lot of times there's finger pointing and hold on, you owe me this. And I've done all this for you. And here's why you shouldn't, you should do what I think and not pull away and all those things. It's all going to come out. And just know that, recognize that. And because you love them so much, you're no longer going to continue to help. It's like a drug addict continuing to supply them. You're not really helping them. That's, Alcoholics Anonymous. That's like the main thing they teach you, right? Stop supporting the alcoholic in your life. You're doing them no favors. Let them hit rock bottom, because as long as you keep enabling someone and sort of showing up like the vampire victim, oh, go ahead, feed on my energy some more. You're contributing to the problem of keeping them locked in that state. Whereas if someone can get cut off from your energy supply, let them hit rock bottom. And I know that's hard to see or think about, but allow it to transpire, allow it to happen. And because you love yourself so much, that's truly what a soul does who is becoming their greatest and grandest self. It is. It's the regal thing to do. It's you're truly loving yourself, because you can't help anyone when your cup is always depleted, because it's being siphoned out. It's like having a leak in your cup. Instead of the leak coming out the wrong end, like a crack in the bottom, instead you want to get to the point where it's overflowing from you and overflowing to those who really can utilize it and are a match for the overflow, right? There's two different ways of your energy flowing out. One is coming through the crack in the bottom. That's going to attract a lower vibration. It's lower on the cup. It's going to attract a lower vibration of people siphoning it in an unhealthy, unsustainable way, versus overflow is going to attract you supplying your energy and putting your energy out there to people who are in vibrational alignment to receive that from a healthy place, right? So, yeah, I think this is all super powerful and pertinent to probably so many of us. I think of my grandmother, who was this way, just so big-hearted and loving, and she was known for being taken advantage of. A lot of times people with these big hearts, can be taken advantage of because they want to help others so much so. And if you're handicapping yourself in the process, you are, that's the thing. What is really happening? Are you really helping them? No. Are you really helping the drug addict if you enable them by giving them more money to go buy, the substance that's doing them so much harm and damage and keeping them locked in and further ingraining them in old habits and old ways? Of course, it's not helping them at all. And so I encourage each and every one of you to reevaluate, any relationships that you have where it's an unhealthy energetic exchange. And instantly when I say it, there's some of you are instantly thinking of those relationships. And I encourage you to start writing a new narrative around it, creating healthy boundaries. That is such a powerful act of self-love. And yes, know that they're going to flail. Know that it's going to be uncomfortable for you, right? And that's the other thing that she said. I might actually bring her on to talk about this sometime, because it was some really powerful realizations I've been watching her have around this stuff and these habits that go back, many, 15 years or more in her case, right? And she said one of the things that came through to her as another, aha moment was, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be, and instead of viewing that discomfort as a problem, like you've done and you run from the discomfort, actually, that's the thing you're seeking. Oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable doing this thing, standing up for myself in a way and protecting my own energy in a way I haven't done before. It feels uncomfortable. Oh, that's how I know I'm in the right place, right? That's actually the thing I'm seeking. Yeah, makes me think of another thought. My partner Karen was talking about this with, years ago. She when she was a teenager, she had an issue with alcohol, and then she started doing something similar, rewriting the story around it. Like, oh, how good! Every time she would find herself craving or whatever, remembering how good it feels to be sober, and how good what a reward that was the next day, and just sort of creating new neural pathways in the brain around this issue that, you once maybe would have been the trigger to cause you to cave. Now you start telling a new story. Oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm feeling this discomfort, standing up for myself and creating healthy boundaries. And that's the thing I'm seeking. I know I'm on the right path now. Good job. Stick with it. And then, like anything, your nervous system acclimates, right? Over time. I mean, you think, President Obama, just use him as an example. I don't know. Well, he's not the current president. Any president, the first time they get up to speak, right? Probably pretty nerve-wracking to get up in front of, 100 million people on a national address or whatever. But 8 years in, doing it, it's like it becomes more customary. Your nervous system acclimates as you expand to doing things. It's like this podcast, as people, how do you talk to yourself the whole time? Oh, I've done it so long now. It's like second nature. I just get into that state, and it flows through. The first time, not as easy, right? Maybe like pushing myself to feel comfortable doing it, and just, it's like this with everything. If it scares you and it excites you, it's for you, right? And if you are start telling a new narrative around these situations where you always have exhibited avoidance to any sort of friction between you and other people who in your heart you have an unhealthy relationship for. Now seek it. Doesn't mean go be combative. It means find out what is the highest, most graceful way you can claim in your own autonomy and protect your own energy, and do it. And do it to the open arms that is the inevitable flailing of them feeling the withdrawals from the energy that you've supplied them that they've been feeding on for so long. So moral of the story, no more being the willing vampire victim. Keep your own energy to yourself. Give it out when it feels right, not when it's being manipulated or taken, whether consciously or unconsciously, from anyone else. Yeah, and find deep gratitude for the ability to differentiate and see the patterns that a lot of people have been caught in these kinds of patterns for a very, very long time and aren't aware, just kind of unconsciously doing this sort of thing and participating in this dysfunction, and finding gratitude for, catching it now. If this is you and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 20 years with my partner or parent or family member, friend, whatever it is, find gratitude for that on top of it. Because you know what, without the contrast, without the experience of going through this, you couldn't then have this realization, then learn how to navigate in a way that is more in alignment with you being your greatest and grandest self. And it's a necessary part of the journey, right? Having these experiences. And so instead of like feeling bad if you have participated in this, there's no point in any of that. Find gratitude for the experience. Be grateful to them for playing the role in your life so that you can choose your autonomy, choose your power. That's really what the universe is setting you up for, is like, will she claim their power back, or will they continue to leak it everywhere and allow others to siphon it and keep them sort of crippling everyone who's involved in it in the process. I saw a quote the other day about gratitude that is just really, really powerful. We don't feel gratitude from happiness. We feel happiness from gratitude. Isn't that epic? We don't feel gratitude from happiness. We feel happiness from gratitude. So get grateful, and that leads you to the happiness that you seek. Find gratitude for all the things in your life that you can drum up, the vibration of gratitude for. The roof over your head, the food in your refrigerator, the health that you have, all the clothes on your back. I mean, we can get really granular with gratitude. The chair under your butt in this moment if you're sitting and listening to this, or the shoes on your feet if you're on a walk, or jogging, the animal that you're walking as you listen, whatever. There's so many ways to be deeply gratitude. And that's going to lead you to more happiness. And it's back to this, whole idea of be, do, have. We don't, or do, have, be. We don't do something like work in order to have something like money in order to be something like happy. We be something like happy, and we find ourselves doing and having things that are a reflection of that. And so I just wanted to share that little quote as we wind down here, because it is a powerful one as you continue to flip the old stories in your mind, in your heart, and start to reprogram yourself, right? We are like biological computers, reprogramming yourself to create more abundance and success and happiness and peace all around you. And I know one of the hardest things is what we're talking about here. It's like, the family members who have to cut someone off who's an addict or something like that and stop, supplying them. It's the same kind of thing. What a challenging journey that is. And how many times does that come back years later? Thank you so much for, loving yourself and me enough in order to do that. We weren't promised an easy life, but we were promised never to be given more than we can handle, I believe. I believe anything that you get is because you can handle it. And as you level up and expand into the next greatest and greatest version of yourself, there's going to be bigger stretches and oftentimes more challenges. And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing, because smooth seas never made for a skilled sailor. You came to be a skilled sailor. You asked for it. So man up, woman up, step up. We've got this. Love is the answer. Now, what was the question? We can do it. All right. I do have a song to leave you guys with. It is Yaima, Yaima. Great duo. Really, really good. They have some new music. This one's called Revolution. Till next time, I love you so, so much. Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Revolution of the earth as we move around the sun, consistent in its course, reclaim